My twin brother and I graduated from college together, but my parents only paid for his tuition. He deserved it, and you didn't, they said. They came to our graduation with beaming smiles, but their faces turned ghostly white when my twin brother and I were supposed to graduate college on the exact same day. On paper, we were identical, but in our house, the divide between us was as wide as an ocean. Lucas was the golden boy. I was the Sarah. When we both got our acceptance letters to the same out-of-state university, my parents sat us down at the kitchen table. My father proudly slid a massive check across the table to Lucas. It was enough to cover full tuition, room, board, and a generous allowance for all 4 years. I waited for mine. It never came. When I asked how I was supposed to pay for my classes, my mother didn't even blink. She looked me dead in the eye and delivered the line that would alter my brain. Chemistry forever. We are investing in a guaranteed future, she said coldly. He deserved it, and you didn't. You just don't have his drive. We aren't wasting our retirement money on a gamble. I didn't scream. I didn't argue. I just stood up, packed my bags, and left. For the next 4 years, my life was a living hell of exhaustion. I took out soul-crushing student loans. I worked a graveyard shift at a massive logistics warehouse, sleeping 3 hours a night before dragging myself to morning lectures. I lived off instant ramen and clearance red. Meanwhile, Lucas lived like a king. My parents bought him a luxury off-campus apartment. His social media was a highlight reel of spring breaks in Cabo, expensive dinners, and VIP club sections, all funded by mom and dad's educational allowance. Every Thanksgiving, I had to sit there and listen to my parents brag about Lucas's fictitious internships while they pointedly ignored the dark circles under my eyes. So what my parents didn't know was that to make extra cash, I took a work-study job in the university registrar's office. At the end of our sophomore year, I was filing academic probation records when a familiar name flashed on my screen. Lucas. He hadn't just failed a class. He had failed all of them. He had partied straight through his grace period and was officially expelled for academic suspension. I stared at the screen for a full 10 minutes. Did I call my parents? Did I warn them? No. I closed the file, clocked out, and went back to work. For the next 2 years, my parents continued to wire $40,000 a semester directly into Lucas's bank account. For 2 years, Lucas stayed in his luxury apartment, pretending to go to class, playing my parents for absolute fools. I watched them drain their entire 401k and take out a second mortgage on their house to fund the extravagant lifestyle of a ghost. I never breathed a word. I just kept my head down, studied, and plotted. Fast forward to graduation day. The stadium was packed with thousands of people. My parents were sitting front and center in the VIP section using tickets they thought Lucas had secured for them, but which I had anonymously arranged. They were holding a massive, obnoxious banner that read, "Proud parents of Lucas, our future CEO." The ceremony began. The dean started calling the names of the graduates from the business school. My parents eagerly scanned the crowd, their phones held high to record, but Lucas never walked. He had told them he was just getting ready in the back. The confusion on my parents' faces was visible from where I was sitting. Then the dean stepped up to the center microphone. And now, to deliver this year's valedictory address, graduating summa cum laude, a student who embodies absolute perseverance, he called my name. The stadium erupted in applause. I walked across the stage, stepped up to the podium, and looked down at the VIP section. My parents' beaming smiles were gone. Their faces had turned completely ghostly white. I delivered my speech. I thanked the late nights, the struggles, and the people who actually believed in me. I did not look at my family once. After the ceremony, I bypassed the crowds and walked straight up to them. My mother was trembling, her eyes wide with panic. "Where is your brother?" she stammered, grabbing my arm. "Why wasn't he in the lineup? What is going on?" I didn't smile. I didn't gloat. I simply reached into my robe and handed my father a crisp white envelope. "He's probably at his apartment," I said, my voice completely hollow. "He needed a place to live after the university kicked him out 2 years ago." My father tore open the envelope with shaking hands. Inside was a stamped copy of Lucas's official expulsion letter, stapled to a highlighted spreadsheet of the $80,000 they had wired into a dropouts checking account. Since that date, the color completely drained from my father's face. He looked like he was going to vomit. The realization hit him like a physical blow. They had sacrificed their entire financial future, their home and their retirement for a lie, and the son they threw away had just graduated at the top of the university. "You knew?" my mother whispered, tears spilling over her mascara. "You knew for 2 years and you let us pay. You let us ruin ourselves." I looked at her, feeling absolutely nothing but cold, pure peace. "I just thought you were giving him what he deserved," I said quietly. "And as for warning you," I leaned in just a little closer. "You didn't deserve it." I turned around, walked out of the stadium, and never spoke to any of them again.